Welcome back to the Solution Series, hosted by Jeff Holder here at DoubleRadius. We've been talking about some serious topics lately, and we wanted to kind of bring it down to earth and have some fun today. So we're going to introduce a few of the members of DoubleRadius, let you get to know who we are more, and help celebrate the season. Cheers, y'all.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. I want you guys to all give me a minute of, just tell me something like that just stands out, something funny, something exciting that's happened to you, personal or work, since you've been here. All right, let's start with the junior rep, Rachel.
Thinking back on the time I've here, so much has happened. I've learned so much, grown a lot. Some of the things, not necessarily super humorous, but some of the things that really stick with me are during our COVID break. So when we were all working remotely, I really felt like DoubleRadius did a great job of trying to bring us together by either doing drive-through pickup dinners. One thing I really enjoyed that did have a lot of humor was a big football game. What is that called? the Super Bowl.
There you go.
The Super Bowl, that's right. Big ball.
Yeah, the Super Bowl. I had a brain fart there. But yeah, just that we put a cookbook together, and then we did a Zoom where we all kind of got on and made different recipes. There were different employees in the group that day made different recipes, including a peanut butter bourbon, peanut butter whiskey, that is now one of my favorites. So
that's cool.
I still make those jerk chicken wings to this day.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to continue on with the ladies first, and we're going to jump over to Jennifer.
So I'd have to say one of my favorite things is that anyone who knows us and has been here for a while knows that we really kind of like to do practical jokes here. So since it's the Christmas season, I have to bring up a Christmas one that we did. Our accounts receivable manager, one year, every single Friday, she took off in December, and she was making a whole big deal telling everyone, I have off every Friday in December, and everything else. We're like, what could we do? So on one of those Fridays when she was out, we had someone bring in literally a branch snapped off their tree with no leaves on it and made a little Charlie Brown Christmas tree. And then what's a tree without presents? You need presents under the tree. So we literally took everything on her desk, her keyboard, her pens, her pencils, her sticky notes. We wrapped her chair, we wrapped her monitor. I think we even wrapped her file cabinets. I mean, anything we could have possibly wrapped, we did. And it looked absolutely beautiful. But to take it up a notch, because that's what we do here, we said we need snow. So at the time, she was sitting right underneath the overhang of the upstairs offices. So we had bags of shredded paper waiting for her to walk in on Monday morning. And it snowed on her. It was fantastic. I mean, it was a really company-wide effort to pull that one off.
That was a fun one. I remember that one. So I thank you for that. We're going to jump over to Gary before we get to our senior sales reps here, because I'm sure their stories are going to be good.
Why did you jump to me?
Oh, it's just fun. I like jumping back and forth.
I preferred you started down there.
You want me to start down there? Is that all right? Then we'll start with Philip. Okay. We'll jump over to Philip. All right, Philip Rose. Cheers.
I guess it was, framed as your welcome to DR moment, or what do you remember, what was, stuck out to you as your, welcome to DR moment? I've got two. The first day I started work here, I mentioned that I was hired as an inside sales assistant, and I reported to one of the sales managers who loved the guy, but he was not here that day. He had forgotten I was starting that day. And I come in and I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. And Jason Radford comes downstairs and he just hands me a stack of papers. And it's just call lists. Start calling. What do I say? I'm Philip with DoubleRadius. How are you?
That's the DoubleRadius.
How do I answer the questions? You'll figure it out. So for the new people who give formal training, it was not quite like that 14 years ago. That was a fun moment. An even better moment for me personally, I believe it was the first Christmas party that year. Where I'd been working here approximately 6 months or so, and we'd had a Christmas party at it was a dinner play theater thingamabob, and we had dinner beforehand, and we were sitting at tables waiting for the show to start, and Jason Radford is sitting at a table behind me and my wife, and I think it was Brian Lambert and his wife and Chris Shoup, and Jason, whom I've known forever, he leans over to me. He says, "Philip, you better order your drinks now because there's no bar service during the entire show." So I grab our waitress and I say, "Will you please bring me 12 Captain and Cokes?" Thinking that she was going to just bring them out 2 at a time for me and my wife. She brought an entire tray of 12 Captain and Cokes and set them down in front of me. And it was one of those oh shit moments of what have I done? All right. Roger is down at a table down the way, and I could just he's just looking at me, just. So in honor of that, I'm going to have a Captain and Coke. And-
12.
Well,
No. We're going to go small today.
I'll bet you the last few were a lot more watered down.
Well,
than
I
the
was
first
I
one.
was I was fortunate enough to be able to pawn some of those off on some of the other folks, but that was quite the moment at the DoubleRadius Christmas party for myself and my wife, who was absolutely embarrassed. So that's my story. Cheers.
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 That's a great story.
That was awesome.
All right, Alex, I guess we're up to you.
All right. So I have to go back to the thing that you and I talked about the other day, about where I spent about 2 years making fun of you and your truck, and we had to go see a customer and decided, I kept telling you, we're not going to your truck. We're not going to your truck.
It
Gary
wasn't
had
high
this.
enough standard.
It was not high enough. Gary had this old like roll-up window truck that he had bought, brand new too. It wasn't even like it was an old truck. It was a brand new truck that he
He
bought
needs
with
special
roll-up
to get
windows.
like the
whole-
old-fashioned version.
Right. Just, stripped down truck. Finally begged Gary enough to go in my truck. We drive up there. The first thing we see, his truck 3 times in the front of this customer. They had the exact same truck as him. Crap, we should have drove his truck instead of mine. That two and a half hour trip back, he made fun of me the entire time for ragging him on that.
That's
The funny
awesome.
part is, though, a year later, I bought a different truck. So
It's not much nicer. It's 4 doors.
At least he talks when he rides with you. He sleeps when he rides with me.
Someone shut up the entire
Because you
time.
say it's a Long John Silver.
Guilty as charged.
Back of that trip.
Guilty as charged.
That was the best trip ever. I just sat in the back while the 2 of you talked. I slept.
All right, Gary,
Well,
give us a good one.
I think the best story of DoubleRadius is going back before my time when Jeff was young and single, and he used to spend a few nights a week going out to the bars and dancing, as he says, up on the pedestal. And this was our old office, and he would come, instead of driving home, he would come in and sleep in his car from 2-ish to 7 or 8. And one of the other sales reps, Joe, would come in and wake him up, and he would go in and work all day. Back then, they only worked about till 2:30 or 3. And then
That's
he
being
would,
generous.
he would,
Back then?
Wow. That's trying to be nice. We're on camera. And then he would go do it again. But I think that says a lot about our company, in that we never let having a good time get in the way of us doing work, and just the opposite. We've never let our work get in the way of us having a good time. So I think it says a whole lot about our company.
To add to that story, I've been here 20 years, and I was 24 when he told that story. So 24 years old, yes, there was a lot of nightlife back then. So things have changed.
Oh yeah, because you never do the idiot.
Never.
Go out now.
Never.
Never once.
I'm in bed by 9 now.
9 o'clock.
Well, that's great. So is there anything else that anybody wants to add, that you'd like to tell, the viewers about us, about you, about anything else?
Well, I would like to say one other thing. I think Rachel brought it up when we talked about COVID and how we were working remotely. One thing we did was had some show and tell things with the groups, and like you brought in your most memorable moment, or you talked about your car you wanted if you won the lottery and things like that. In one of the meetings we had with all the salespeople, Philip shared his ticket collection going back to when he was in high school, I believe. And for him to go through all those tickets and see everybody's face, it was such joy and amazement that to me, it was one of the brighter spots of the whole pandemic, is just to watch how much everybody enjoyed his showing kind of a personal part of his life that was important to him, but it was also important to share. And to me, that was just neat as can be.
Yeah, I have ticket stubs dating back. I've kept every single ticket stub to every concert, sporting event that I've been to that I've not lost. And I have my first ticket stub to the very first Jimmy Buffett concert I went to in 1985 for $10.
I thought the best ones were when you saw Cyndi Lauper and Cher,
Fantastic.
Barry Manilow,
The Spice Girls.
Spice Girls.
Yeah,
Which one? Which really, really want?
Yeah, but I can't do that anymore because
They're all digital now.
they're all
I remember, speaking of that, with digital tickets, I remember, what was it, Wispapalooza a few years ago, we took 200 clients to the Golden Knights NHL first game ever, and it was trying to get 200 people into the stadium with a digital ticket. When I had all the digital tickets, was really tough, actually. It was easy when you had paper, hand them out, but yeah, it was that was definitely a learning experience for us on the digital side.
I don't think we can end without really acknowledging our customers.
It's always nice when you get a chance to see people face to face and not over the phones. And get to know them.
Yeah, so they get to see me cry in person. It's
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, that's great, y'all. So before we close on this, I just want to say thank you all for watching this. I hope you had a couple laughs with us. I hope you have a wonderful holiday. And we will see you guys again soon with more from the Solution Series. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Happy holidays.